Alrighty. Hi, I'm MangoPunch. I am a speedrunner of the classic Resident Evil games, mostly 2 and 3. I'll be doing number 3 today, and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Vi. I was just on. I like Resident Evil.
Yep, that's all we need. Alright, so we're going to... Ooh, just go to default costume. So the time will start as soon as I take control of Jill.
It all began as an...
Skip this cutscene. So... Oh, actually, no. Timer starts right now. So this game is set about 2 months after the original game with the mansion incident.
Yes.
So we're playing as Jill, who was one of the original characters, and she's just got caught up in a massive outbreak in the city. Yeah. So originally it was contained to the mansion. The survivors tried to tell everybody they're zombies, and then nobody believed them, and now, yeah, it spreads to the city. So everything's gone to hell.
This game actually takes place at the same time as Resident Evil 2, if you've played one or the other.
Yeah.
Daylight.
Well, actually, it starts off the day before.
Yeah, this is the day before. Then Resident Evil 2 happens during plot point, and then Resident Evil 3 picks up like at the very end of Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
It's like
a bit of a time skip in the middle. All right, so we've just found ourselves sort of hiding out in this area, but we've decided that there's not going to be a rescue. Nobody's coming to save us, so we have to get out of the city. So, yeah, basically Jill's going to try and find her way to the police station, try to get as many resources as possible to escape, really.
Yeah, and because this is classic Resident Evil, if you're more familiar with the Resident Evil remakes, this is fixed camera tank controls. So every single time like the camera changes, Mango's using tank controls, which basically means W to go forward and then A and D to turn left and right. There's no like analog input. So it's quite different if you haven't played it before, but I guess for speedrunners it's kind of like
once you're used to it, it's like, yeah, it's so easy. All right, so we're in very much the first major reset point of the game. We got the dodge, but this guy is blocking us, which isn't ideal. Okay, that's not too bad. One bite. That's pretty good. So that's like the #1 reset point in the whole game, because that can be very RNG. Like you saw, the zombies can just block you at the top of the staircase. Yeah, it's not fun when you get that RNG there.
That guy's not doing good.
Yeah. So we're about to meet Brad, who was also one of the guys from the first game. He was the helicopter pilot that basically, flew the helicopter and ran away and then came back at the last second to save everybody. But basically, he's just told us that there's a big monster in the city and he is hunting the original characters. And he's basically given up on life. He's like, oh, we're not going to survive. So, yeah, we're not buying that. We're going to survive.
The idea is that Jill is part of a special task force called STARS, which is the Special Task Force something.
Special Tactics and Rescue, I believe.
Special Tactics and Rescue. They're like a special unit for Raccoon City, and the ones that were in the original mansion incident, they discovered a lot of stuff that needs to be put quiet, so they've sent in this big monster to try and take them all out so that the secret stays hidden.
Yep. And we are about to meet said monster right here. We're going to skip the cutscene where Brad meets an untimely end. And we're going to get our first live selection thing, which is the thing that was added in RE3. Basically, you get a few choices throughout the game that alter the route. Yeah. Pretty much every single selection we get, we choose the first option. Like that one, we had the 2 options were either fight the monster or escape. It's quicker to say fight the monster and then just run away. Oh, we got the first try. That puzzle has 4 different locker codes. You just cycle through each one until you get the right one. Luckily, I got the first. And I messed up that dodge, but that's all right.
Yeah, so a lot of the strats come down to basically trying to consistently dodge enemies that can be in variable positions. So sometimes there's manipulations you can do to like either kite them into the correct location or just like visually like figure out where they're going to be and then dodge the other way. But some of it is very RNG, as we saw with like the zombie block in the first bit. So yeah, it's a little tricky. Coming up, we are going to get our first weapon at some point.
We got the grenade launcher.
Nice, okay.
All right, so that's the good one. That's the one we want. So there's 2 different weapons that can spawn there, either the grenade launcher or the magnum. You want the grenade launcher because it just makes everything so much easier and faster. If you get the magnum, you have to pick up extra items throughout the first part of the game. But I honestly kind of like the Magnum route better. It just makes things more interesting to me. And also, the Magnum is such a iconic weapon in the RE series. I've always loved it. But no, we got the good one, we got the fast one, so that means we get to do the fast route.
Yeah, so Nemesis is the name of the monster that's going to be chasing us. He's now active, and basically his goal is to just follow you around and make your life really bad. So we're going to be trying to dodge him. He's not really killable per se, at least not without wasting all of our resources. So
Yeah.
whenever we can.
Like, you can knock him out, but then he just shows up again later. It's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's the big bad we're running from.
Yes. When you do take him out, he does drop, like, weapon parts to upgrade your weapons, so it is kind of beneficial, but it takes a long time, so we're just not going to do that.
It's really slow.
Yeah. So at this point, we are just running down through the downtown area, and this dog is going to ruin my day. Go away. So we're trying to get to the train cart, which is where we'll get an item that will allow us to open up all the locked areas that we're running past right now. So this first part is basically just a tour of, like, the first area to be like, oh, here's all these locked doors. You can't get through them just yet, but you will later. So just memorize where they are.
Crazy monsters.
Yeah. Right, now get this dodge. Oh, he's going turbo. So one of the fun things about this run is every single zombie has like a 10% chance of going turbo, which means they will just run at you, which means like all the dodges and stuff that you've memorized it won't even matter because they'll just decide, no, I'm going to grab you. I'm going to ruin your day. So sometimes you can get none of them happen in the whole run. Sometimes all of them can.
This way.
And so we've just met Carlos.
He's a friend.
Yeah, he's a friend. He's a good dude. He's a member of the Umbrella
Bio cleanup organization or something along those lines.
Yeah, basically sent in to, quote-unquote, save the civilians, but they've actually been sent in by Umbrella to test the weapon capabilities of all the zombies.
Carlos has a change of heart though, and he's quite nice. Like, some of the other members of that task force that we'll meet, they'll, like, you know, be not good and try and kill you.
Nikolai, not a good dude.
Carlos has a change of heart and he realizes, oh, human experimentation is actually bad, I think. He joins us and helps us out. And there's a little bit later that we play as him.
Yes, for a very, very brief section.
Yes.
It's a bit longer in the remake, but this one it's very short. All right, so we just need to get... for some reason, there's a locked area of the city that's like the whole downtown area is locked by one gate that you need a bunch of gems in order to open. Weird puzzle.
Yeah, the city architect of Raccoon City was like really rubbing their hands together.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, this will be smart.
Yeah, it makes sense kind of in RE2 because they explain it that it used to be like the police station was a...
It was a cathedral, I think.
Yeah, like some kind of museum that was built by some eccentric dude who just really loved his puzzles. Applying that to the whole city, though, kind of doesn't really make sense, but, you know, that's Resident Evil for you.
I think it was actually the same person who designed the mansion and the police
Oh,
department
like
or something
Spencer?
Like, maybe.
Yeah, haven't really looked too much into it.
I can't remember.
Yeah, here's the gem thing. So we put these back, and then it will open up the gate that we need. And then we can make our way to the end of the... to where the train cart is, where the other Umbrella dudes are. So we'll meet up with Carlos again. And then once we get there, we get the wrench, which will then allow us to, well, access all the areas that we couldn't before. And all right, we've got the good RNG for the zombies here. They can spawn in different positions, and you gotta like think on the fly which dodge you need to use. And this next room can either have zombies or dogs. Let's see what it is. It's dogs, which means we can just run past them. If it's zombies, you have to shoot those barrels to just blow them all up, but dogs are easily dodgeable.
Dogs are free.
Yeah, dogs are free, which we saw before when one of them bit me twice. All right, there's Mikhail, I think his name is.
Yeah, it's not Nikolai.
Yeah, there's Nikolai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not voiced by Neil Newborn in this one. All right, now we got the wrench, and we've also got an extension to our inventory slots, so we can carry more stuff.
Yeah, so the original 3 Resident Evil games follow the same engine, more or less, which is basically 8 items in your inventory, like 8 inventory slot. There's no key item slot, so everything just goes in the same 8 slots. And that's kind of like a part of the horror in a way that, like, you really are limited on, like, what you can bring around.
Yeah, inventory management is a huge thing.
Yeah,
so
it actually saves a lot of time to do it, like, correctly.
Yeah. Right, so we need to take a bite, hopefully push them all over. Nice. That's what we want. And here's another thing that doesn't make sense. I'll explain when I come back. Dodge around.
Oh, nice.
Okay, pretty good. They behaved. And I think I still have a first aid spray in my inventory, so that's
I think you do, yeah.
Yeah. So we need to go and grab a compass, which, yeah, again, the city planning makes no sense whatsoever. So we take the book from that statue, take it to this fountain, put the book in the fountain, like so, which will allow us to grab this compass, take it back to the statue of the mayor, and inside the statue of the mayor is a car battery. Don't ask. All right, so let's try to get this dodged.
It's the same
Oh,
people
he
that
turboed.
decided that their electricity company is supposed to use chess pieces to...
Yes, of course, in RE2. All right, now we've got crows. That's all right, just run around. Okay, now this is another RNG spot. All right, this is going to be tricky. Now we put the compass in the thing. Fire one shot, which for some reason makes them move over. We don't question it, we just roll with it. Oh, okay. One bite's fine. Okay, that was actually pretty good. Usually I take like 3 or 4 bites. Okay, and now we have the battery that was in the statue of the mayor. And of course he turboed again. Thank you. Thank you for ruining my day. All right, let's try... No. Oh, okay, pushed him off before he bit me. That's rare. I'll take it. So now we're making our way to the power station, which is...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. He's doing the bad thing.
This bit in the remake freaked me out.
It's a bit creepy in the remake. I'd prefer not to think about that one. Especially the way they grab you and what they do. It's just,
yeah.
come on. All right, we get the good RNG with the zombies, which means we can just run past them. So an interesting thing about the way zombies act is if you were on a slope, if you're on a different level to where they are, they can't grab you. So on that little like slight slope of a road, you can just run right past them. All right, so that puzzle is pretty much the same every time. You go down, up, up, up. And now we have one of the pieces that we need to repair the train cart. Get another live selection, and we're just going to run out the emergency exit. The other option is overloading that fence so it explodes all the zombies, but then it takes too long. And now we have Nelly again. And somehow Jill doesn't, she makes out of this completely unscathed. Point blank rocket launcher. It's fine. Stars. Alright, now we want Nemi to actually chase us here. It's a bit RNG whether he does or not. Because if he does, it means the next area is going to be clear of zombies, which makes it easier to run through. But he's not going to. That's fine. Oh, I hate that little bit because I can't see where I'm going. Okay, but it's fine. And the dogs again. So now we're making our way all the way back to almost at the beginning, to the pharmacy. Which is another RNG spot. There's going to be a computer with like 3 different passcodes that we need. It's random which one it is. So we have to try each one, and it just takes so long to input them, so if you get the wrong one, it's just annoying.
Yeah, and if you've played Resident Evil 2, we are also like backtracking through areas that are familiar to Resident Evil 2, like the parking garage and the police department. You go through them in RE2, so it's a really cool like little nod to go through it from like different directions and theoretically just miss. Like this is the day before, so it doesn't count, but like you like just happen to miss Jill and Carlos, just happen to miss Leon and Claire.
Yeah. Right, now that that's clear, we can make our way to the pharmacy, and there's going to be more bugs outside, which hopefully they behave. They didn't behave on my practice runs for some reason. Okay, that's good. All right, good.
Nice.
All right, now I'm going to grab the safety first aid spray because, yeah.
Real.
Yeah. All right, so first one is Safsprin. Nice, first try.
Nice.
So there's Safsprin, Adravil, and Aquacure. Safsprin is the most common one, so you always try that one first. Adravil is the second one, and then Aquacure is the one you don't want.
Fake medications, right?
Yeah. All right, now that we got this bit, and going to be attacked by zombies. Going to take some damage. Only way we can get through is just by brute force.
Yeah, this music is like, it's so good. It's so overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Oh. Oh, I almost made it out. All right.
Nice.
I'll probably take one more bite. Or, sometimes you get the dodge and then she raises her gun anyway. So one thing that this game introduced was emergency dodges, which means if you hit aim, if a zombie or an enemy like hits you as you're raising the gun, you will do like a shove or an emergency dodge. So depending on the weapon you're holding, if you're holding the shotgun, for example, it takes longer to raise, so you have more of like a buffer window. But it is really, really tight with the pistol because it's such a quick window that you got to get it in. So if you get them, it's great. If not, it's no big deal. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, this is the first game that kind of made it more action-y. Like,
Yes.
Resident Evil, up to this point, had really been more of like a point-and-click adventure, but this game kind of gave the player some more tools to actually fight back, which was really interesting.
Yeah,
And
which makes sense for Jill's, special
Character
weapons
as
training
well,
and all that
yeah.
sort of stuff. Yeah.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh, not the crates. Oh, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna, climb up and run away. Easy. There's really no point to jump down because I think like there might be some ammo in that downstairs area, but it's just not worth it. Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay. He was not in the spot that he usually is. All right, so we've pretty much got everything we need, except for the crank, which we're going to pick up in a sec. That guy almost got me. Oh, he got me again. Come on. All right. So if you get the Magnum, you have to do this bit first because we need to... Oh, okay. We need to grab the crank first because we need to get to the gas station before everywhere else. But if you do that, if you go into that room first, Nemesis will chase you a bit longer, which makes things a bit more risky. Now I'm going to do a tricky dodge here.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Okay. I could not get that at all in practice, so I'm glad I got that. Okay, so going to go into the gas station with my favorite puzzle. It's basically lights out. And I'll see if I can remember how to do it because it's like... I can't really explain how the puzzle works, but there is a tutorial on YouTube from Wolf DNC, who was a big runner of this. He explains it in a way that it means, like, if you get what he's saying, you can just easily just look at which lights are on and just figure it out instantly. Safety first aid spray, because why not? All right. There's 1, 2, 3. There we go. The first time I played this game, that puzzle took me literally 20 minutes. I was like 12 years old. I didn't know what was going on. Ooh. Skip the cutscene a bit too early. There we go. All right, so now we've got everything we need to repair the train cart. And of course, this dude's going to show up again.
Oh, he's mad.
He mad. Yep, and he's, he shouldn't be so slow.
I don't remember what the classification of Nemesis is, like a hunter type C or something.
It's like
Something
a
like
variation of the Tyrant, I think.
Yeah, Tyrant, that's
Yeah.
the name. Tyrant, I think Mr. X is type B and Nemesis is type C? I'm probably wrong. But
Possibly?
something like that.
Yeah. So we just fell into the sewer, and Jill's just taken a nice, good look at this wall for some reason. We're going to meet the Gravedigger. which is a boss that's going to show up later on, but we're just going to press these 2 switches and just get out of here. But yeah, that boss will show up later. It's a bit of a doozy sometimes.
Yes.
But we do have the grenade launcher, so it's a lot easier than it is with the Magnum, thankfully.
Basically, the same virus that's infected everyone and turned them into zombies has also like mega amplified all of like the random animals and life that live around the city and turned them into like crazy weird creatures.
Like the big crocodile in
Yes.
RE2. All right, so we've repaired the train cart. We're about to head off to the clock tower, but guess who's followed us? It's Nemi again. And we're just going to turn around and let Mikhail deal with it. Not our problem. So Mikhail just blew himself up, and now the brakes are out. So we're going to do my favorite thing in the whole run, which is either use the emergency brakes, or we're just going to, you know, do this.
It's useless.
Head first through, you know, reinforced glass. Always a, you know, the smart thing to do. So now we're at the clock tower, and we are going to see if we get early powders. We do not. So some gunpowders can spawn here or later on. They didn't spawn here, which means that when we fight Nemesis, we're going to have to use flame rounds. Yeah, difficult to explain why. There's a lot of reasons, but basically faster. So we're going to get a little cutscene with Carlos. He survived the train crash, and he's going to give us some freeze rounds. If we get all the gunpowders in the first room there, we skip this bit, and then we just make the freeze rounds ourselves. But because we have freeze rounds already, we don't need any more. We make the flame rounds instead. So just going to run through here, and we're about to get the gunpowders in here, as well as a key.
Yeah, unfortunately, the remake of this game was a little rushed, specifically of Resident Evil 3. The clock tower is one of the areas that was unfortunately cut from the game. I think you just, if I remember correctly, you just do the final boss fight on the roof, and then that's it.
Yeah, you fight Nemesis in the courtyard outside. It's just like, oh, here's the clock tower, everybody's favorite thing, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Alright, I might do the mixing now. Get the regular rounds out there, put the flame rounds in. There we go. Alright. There, you got to be really careful with that, because if you mess up the mixing and you get the wrong ammo, you don't have the ammo you need to beat Nemesis. So it's pretty much run over if you do that. So it's always better to take your time if you're unsure. Alright, now we get the music box puzzle. Let's see what we got. It is always up, down, up, down, up. And it's random on which pegs you have to move. So there's one. Looks like a 2 change. I think. Yes. Nope. Oh, I messed that up. There we go. So the last one. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, that should do it. So when they were making this game, originally in the test thing, it was all completely randomized what the solution was, and you had to figure it out by sound. But because some people, obviously hard of hearing, they just couldn't do it, so they switched it to just a fixed solution, which is probably the better option there. All right, we're going to run into Nemesis again, and this is a bit that changes how the next fight takes place. We choose the first option because it means that in the fight he will have his rocket launcher, which doesn't sound ideal, but it is, because it means that he keeps his range, which means you can shoot him a lot easier. Because when he gets up in your grill, it's a lot harder to hit him. Mix the key. All right, and now, as we walk into this room, we need to take a quick look at the clock. I believe that was 5 o'clock. It's hard to tell. I'm going to take a closer look. What is it? Nope, 7 o'clock. All right, so that is, look at my cheat sheet. amber, crystal, and obsidian. This is another puzzle that took me a long time when I first played it. So, yep, of course, there's a cog hiding in the clock, which we need to activate the actual clock tower, which will signal our rescue chopper.
That's how I would design
Of
a building.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah. Run past the spiders, pretty harmless, unless you somehow run straight into them. Which I have done before, of course. Alright, we get the other cog, and now mix those together, and alright, we signal our rescue chopper. And then we can get out of the city.
We're done.
Yeah. Except that's not what happens, because Nemi will show up and blow up the chopper.
Yeah.
Because of course he does. I actually got faked out when I first played it. I thought that was the end of the game. Alright, now let's try and do this without any... Ooh. Ooh.
Cool.
Okay, I thought he was down. Ooh, okay, there we go.
Sorry, Jill.
So yeah, that's a risky fight, because if he hits you with too many rockets, I mean, it's game over. But if you hit him at just the right time, he misses with his rocket. So you want to kind of really hope that you get that timing, but there's no real way to time it right. It's pretty much just hope for the best.
So now we enter the time skip area. Jill's been pretty gravely injured and also, I believe, slightly infected.
Yes, very infected.
Yeah, very infected.
Yep.
She's in the late stages of the infection, so Carlos, looking after Jill, has decided, okay, I need to go and find a vaccine and go figure out how the hell we're going to get out of this city.
Yep. So Carlos is going to make a quick trip to the hospital, and I guess he took some chemistry in high school because he's going to synthesize the vaccine himself. Right, now we get to here, and there's this bell that Jill couldn't move herself, so Carlos is going to move it out of the way. And we make our way to the hospital, where we meet my favorite enemy in the RE series. These dudes right here. It's a zombie? No, it's not. It's a hunter.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, these guys are really nasty because if you are in caution, safety fast. If you are in caution, which is like below half health, they will do a leaping attack that will just instantly kill you, which is never fun. So you got to be really careful around them.
They scared me so much when I played Resident Evil 1. They
Yeah.
are like...
In his right arm, just below the
That noise they make, that kind of thing, just like gives me nightmares.
terrible.
There's a bit later on in the game where like there's a really narrow area with two of them and they can just stun lock you to death. It's so annoying. Alright, we got no zombies, that's good. And cutscene we skip. Nikolai, we find out that he's actually a bad guy.
No way!
Oh my god.
And he's actually like... Is he working for Wesker? I can't remember.
Not Wesker, but Umbrella.
Or, yeah.
We'll take a quick little dip into this room. 531. So that will tell us the solution to this next little puzzle. So there's 4 different pressure plates that we can push these onto. That code tells us which one. So 531 is this corner here. And then there's 3 others it can be. But yeah, we got the good one because that's just really a short way to push the thing. 531. That was 2. That coffee I had earlier is making me jittery. Pressing all the wrong buttons. That's okay. All right, so we got one part of the vaccine. And of course, he's just going to be like, oh yeah, I can do something with this.
It's in like a freezer and he just chucks it in his pocket.
Yeah. All right, we got zombies here, which is actually good. It means our escape out of this area will be much easier. Because there's, for some reason, explosives set up right there in the hospital. Oh. And as we come out, we can just shoot them and it'll blow up all the zombies. All right, now he's going to operate the synthesis machine. And we don't worry about these guys. They're going to be fine. They're just going to stay in their vat. So the solution is always 1-3A, one of the few non-randomized puzzles. And now we have the vaccine. It was that simple. And we're just going to make our way out of here with nothing bad happening. Oh no, it's happening.
Who could have foreseen this?
Yeah. Different breed of hunter that they like to just eat you.
I like how you just high-five that guy on the way in and the way out.
He's a good dude. Call him Terry.
That guy's chill.
Yeah. All right, so now we're making our way back to the clock tower. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sir, okay, I mean caution. Good thing I picked up that safety space.
is this the stunlock room that you were talking about?
No, there's a different one later on.
Oh, God.
And Nikolai set up a bomb to blow up the hospital, because of course he did. Because he wanted to burn all the evidence of, well, burn evidence and also the vaccine.
Yeah, prevent anyone from synthesizing a vaccine, which Carlos already did.
Yep.
Also,
Good
there's
old
snakes
Carlos.
now.
Yep. There's snakes now? There's snakes now.
Sad that there's no sharks in this game.
No.
I miss the sharks.
Yeah. Good old Neptune. So Nemi's chasing us now, but we're just
Yeah,
gonna...
he's a bit messed up now because we beat him up.
Yeah. He's mutating and getting stronger, which will only get worse. Alright, mix the vaccine and give it to Jill, and we are Jill again. So we don't need the reload tool anymore, so we're just going to swap it out for the knife. And even though he was in the room just before, he's going to bust through this door again. Like, he could have just followed Carlos into that room and, you know, got Jill, but... Oh wait, I don't need the mine thrower.
Oh my God, he's so fast.
Yep. Alright, on the way out, because we got the flame rounds, we do need to pick up these ones so that we can mix the acid rounds later on for the Gravedigger. And now that Carlos has politely pushed the bell out of the way, we can leave through this way. Go in here, grab the key to the park, which Carlos couldn't access because he doesn't have lockpick. But Jill can, because she is the master of unlocking. Alright, making our way to the second last area of the game. And please no zombies on this pier. Okay, we got zombies. It's fine, it's just hard to dodge them sometimes.
Oh,
There we go.
Nice.
That's exactly what you want. Hunters or dogs? We got dogs. Good. Alright, now when we get back to... There's a cabin where we... That was completely my fault. There's a cabin with more evidence of Nikolai being bad, even though we already know he is. And then we're going to do the Gravedigger fight, which is the giant worm that we encountered before. And this little water puzzle here. There we go. So there's like a bunch of different configurations for these cogs, which will make the fountain do different things. So if you mess up that cog thing, it's like a 30-second time loss as you watch the animation of the fountain doing its thing. And then you have to do it again. Alright, so we get a brief little view of the Gravedigger there. Even though we can't really see it, we just see the splashing in the water. Alright, I've got to remember, so we've got the flame rounds, so that means I need to get the 2 yellow gunpowders. Turn around, grab this, and...
Loud metal pipe sound effect.
Yeah. Alright, first we light this, and then we can get rid of our lighter, free up a bit of inventory. Get rid of that, and while we're here, mix the acid rounds. Equip. No. There we go. clank, clank, make our way through into this hidden little, I don't know what it is. I guess it's a listening post for the for Nikolai. Grab this key, which will get us to the factory, and then, yeah, we hear a transmission that was meant for Nikolai, and we find out, oh, he is a bad guy, even though, again, we already knew. So, just gonna grab another first aid spray, because this is a risky fight. Alrighty, now, I'm gonna try to get the one cycle on this, but it's probably not gonna happen. Alright, here's the worm. Oh, that was almost a one cycle. If I didn't drop that one quick shot, that might have been it. Okay. So we're going to try to not get hit as we bait out a bunch of attacks, which...
Oh.
Yep, so that's how risky that fight is. But, well, you know, got some safety saves set up. That's all good. Yes. So let's do that again. Oh, these are not named the way they were supposed to be. Let's see. Luckily, I have the list here. Which one is it? Grenade Launcher Gravedigger, number 3. There we go. And we're in the classic costume.
She's in classic.
Hell yeah. All right. So just pretend that didn't happen.
She had to do a quick
Let's try to
costume change, and now she's doing the boss.
Yeah, yeah. She needs her power costume. It means we get another chance at the one cycle. All right. Oh, one off again. All right. So let's do this right this time. Oh, he's not behaving. Okay. Come on. Oh, okay. All right, I think that's it. And he's going to pop up again, and then we just hit him one more time. Come on. There we go. All right. First try. Yeah, he does a lot of damage if he hits you. But the idea was to stand in a specific spot that will bait him out. But sometimes he just doesn't do what you want him to do. And that's kind of what happened there. But we got through. Oh, of course. So we got these little worms that, while they're latched onto you, you can't actually go through doors. So they're just annoying. They don't do much damage, it's just a time loss. But now we make our way to the factory. And wait for this guy. There we go. So because we're on a different level to him, he went for the puke instead of the bite. Alrighty. Let's see if we can get this dodge again. Ah, okay. That's fine. Now, hopefully no hunters here. Yep, dogs. Sweet. Alrighty. Oh, doggy, go away. Please. Alrighty, and we're going to come across Nemesis once again, and again we're just going to pick the first option, which is just push him off the bridge. Just give him a little shove. Yay! A love shove. And then we're in the factory, the final area of the game. So we're going to come in here, briefly meet Carlos, grab at another first safety fast. And we're going into this room with there's like a steam puzzle. We're supposed to like press all these buttons in a certain order, but we're just going to do this. We're just going to like force our way through the steam and hit the button. Because apparently the hitbox is big enough that you can just reach it if you try to brute force it. Alright, press this button here. This one again, and we're home free. Just gonna run past this dude, go in here, grab this MO disc, and then run out to reset the room, which will reset the position of the zombies so that they're not all crowded around this elevator. Now, we're coming up to the bit that I was talking about before, which could have hunters that might soft lock me or stun lock me into oblivion. Oh god, I need a first aid spray already. Alright, no hunters, no hunters, no hunters, please. Okay, no hunters, cool. So what happened was I tried to get up this little ledge here, but they were stuck on either side of me and just hitting me, so I couldn't get up. It was just like this slow, painful death. Alright, now we're coming up to the water puzzle, which is pretty much the only puzzle that I consistently need the cheat sheet for, because I hate it. It's so hard to figure out. So that's high, low, which is left 1, left 2, right 2, which is one of the fast ones. Left 1, left 2, right 2. Oh, that was not.
That was right 1.
Damn it.
That's fine. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, see, if you mess it up, you have to go through that little boop, 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 and it's just annoying time loss. Not a huge deal, though.
Jill's connecting to the internet.
Yeah. Your call could not be connected. All right. Safety first, and we're coming up to my favorite fight, which can go so very, very wrong. Like, even more wrong than that Gravedigger fight, which is the Trash Nemi fight. So basically, there are a bunch of valves. Oh, get off me, worm. There's a bunch of valves around the arena where if you hit them, it will start to spurt acid. And if you manage to get Nemi in the acid 3 times, he will insta-die, which is the fastest way. And the fastest way to do that is with the knife, which is why we have the knife equipped here. But there's some very specific sound cues that you have to listen out for just to get the timing right. So if you get it just a little bit wrong, you have to play it by ear, and it's really, really, it can go, yeah, very wrong. That's not it. MO disc. All right, so the first sound cue is his second footstep. Second sound cue is when he says stars. And then the third one, you sort of have to play it by ear and look at what he's doing. Okay. I have died in marathons on this fight multiple times. Alright, so this cutscene is just going to show you, hey, there's acid valves, use them. Alright, here we go. Second footstep. Oh, that almost didn't work. That was a late spurt. Stars. Oh! Okay, now we've got to play it by ear. Ooh, okay, this is not good. Use my first aid spray. Okay, so the valves also take a while to recharge. And he's smart enough to sort of stay out of the acid if he sees you doing it, which makes things a lot harder. So I'm just going to keep hitting every single one and hope that it works. That'll do it, that'll do it. Did that not...
Was it not recharged?
No, you can't hit it if it's not recharged. Oh god, okay. Alright, this is going to be... This is fine, this is fine. Please, no. Oh my god, this is the worst case scenario.
Oh.
I think I might be dead. Yep, this is it. It's annoying because he keeps tripping you over, but that doesn't actually kill you, so he's just wasting my time. Bad manner. Come on. There we go. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a bit brutal. So yeah, that fight, it's, yeah, if it goes wrong, it goes very wrong.
Such a crazy attack.
Yeah. But that's okay, because, you know, we have safety saves, because this can happen. And which one is that? Puzzle to puzzle. Number 4. Okay, now we're back here. No. Okay, I need to put away. At least with the safety save, I have 2 first aid sprays
Yay.
instead of 1. So there is that. Oh god, it's hunters.
Oh.
Okay, yep. If you
That's
run
actually
straight
fast.
at him, he just jumps over you, which is good. Right. Alright, Nikolai doing his thing, but we don't care about him. Won't use the first aid spray. Alright, maybe this time will be the one.
Warning. Proceeding with operation in 3 minutes.
One of the few cutscenes you can't actually skip, unfortunately, which is annoying.
His design is actually very cool at this point
It
in the game.
really is. Alright, second footstep. Stars. No. Alright, this is not fun. Okay, if I die again, which may happen, I'm just gonna skip to the next safety save because otherwise we're gonna run out of time. Come on, it's so hard to get him in the right spot. Come on, hit the thing. Will that get him? Come on, come on.
Yep.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, there's 2.
That's 2.
Now the third one, he doesn't have a head. So he's kind of just swinging around wildly, which kind of makes it easier to get him into the acid. Okay. Oh no! He got iframes. Okay, it's still
Oh,
good.
thank god.
First try. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Everything's fine. And this guy just drops a key card for some reason. All right, we get to see the rest of the game. Sweet. Now, thankfully, the final boss is a lot easier than that. Because if you mess up the strat, it's just a time loss. It's not like you lose the game. But there is a room full of zombies here that might be a little tricky.
This is the same room that you reset earlier, right?
Yes, but there are now super zombies which do more damage.
Yes.
So that's fine. Okay. And we got some more super zombies here, but they are on a slight slope, which means we can run past them. I might just grab some herbs to heal up a bit, because, you know, judging by how the rest of the run has been going, probably going to need it. And we're fine.
Nice.
But I will also grab our best friend, the first aid spray.
Warning.
Alright, so we're coming up to the final confrontation with Nemi.
Yeah. So currently there is a nuke incoming.
Yes,
And-
probably important to mention.
Yeah. So basically, because of how Raccoon City has been going, the American government has decided that instead of trying to contain the infection, they're just going to nuke the city.
Yeah.
So Jill is really frantically trying to get out and not die. which is why you see that radar in the top right-hand corner.
Yes. Luckily, Carlos has managed to find a helicopter, but we have to get to it first. And for some reason, like, there is a railgun here. I don't think it's ever actually explained why, but it's pretty handy considering, you know, big Nemesis is about to show up. Yeah, why not?
Because railguns are awesome, of course.
I think it was put there by the Umbrella Mercenaries to help them with something, but why would you put it inside this warehouse kind of thing? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, Nemi's back, and he's uglier than ever. And he's about to get even more ugly. So what we have to do, we have to push these batteries in to charge up the railgun, and then we have to do just enough damage to him so that the railgun will take him out in one shot. And if it doesn't, it's fine. We just wait for the railgun to charge up again, and then blow him up with it. So that's 2 batteries. And hope he doesn't drop down early, because if he does, that's really bad. Okay, he's still up there. That's good. All right, now the railgun starts to charge up, and I have to wait for him to drop down. And then just start unloading into him with everything I've got. Which is the mine thrower, which just absolutely rips him apart. There we go, got every hit. And now the acid rounds. Oh. I hope that hit him.
Sounded like it did.
Yeah. Then every pistol round I've got left, and that should be just enough. Okay, I think, yep, that's everything. So that should have done enough damage. So the first round will always blow up that rubble, and then the second round should get him. As long as I lure him into the right spot. And don't get killed by acid. Alright, this should get him. There we go. Alright, that's final Nemi done. And we're about to get the final live selection of the game, which usually is the only one that you pick the second option for. But because it's more fun, we're going to choose the first option. Because we get one of the best lines in all of RE.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. He's not quite dead yet. The options are either run away or exterminate the monster. And we're going to do some extermination.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
There we go. Oh, one of the best lines in the game, and then in the remake they put it in a spot that was just so, like, it's
It was
while,
just like an offhand line in like
Yeah.
in the final fight.
while Nemesis is chasing you, so that half the time he just clocks you in the back of the head and interrupts the line so you don't hear it at all. It's like, you want stars? I'll give you... Ah! Right, and that is time right now. Oh, that was a bit dodgy, but yeah, we got through it. Alrighty, well, that's it. Yep, thank you for commentating for me.
Thanks.
Always a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you. And yeah, that's the run. Enjoy the rest of the event, everybody.
You, Mango, for that fantastic run. Up next, we have some co-op fun with Pico Park multiplayer with Quackadidi and Rippy. Stay tuned, coming up very soon. All right, who's ready for some co-op fun with Pico Park coming up right now?